Now it's 9 a.m. and it's time for us to get started. A warm welcome to our Learnifier Live customer webinar. I say good morning, good day, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. And now we are going to have this webinar, and this is for you, our customers. We do these quarterly to get you updated on all the latest news in Learnifier and also what's coming up ahead. And these are things that we are doing basically to make life more fun and easy for you when it comes to Learnifier. And also, of course, see some of the people behind the technology might also be fun. So you'll meet some of the Learnifiers here speaking. And this webinar is 45 minutes long, and we will soon look at the agenda. But before we look at that, I just want to encourage you now to take this opportunity and write questions in the chat when you think of them. And we have the Learnifiers in the chat to be able to answer you. And the team here will also hang around after 9:45 a.m. to answer some questions. And you then can get the opportunity to unmute yourself as well and ask questions. But now let's have a quick look at the agenda for today. We're going to first start with our product manager, Mona. Actually, we're going to first start with our CEO and co-founder, Matthias, talking about some news at Learnifier in general. And then we're going to go over to our product manager, Mona, who will be summarizing some of the latest features. And then we're going to go diving into some of these functions a little bit extra and do some demos of these. And we're going to start with the overview of licenses for active users and administrators, which is going to be presented by our full stack developer, Paul. Then we're going to look at the catalog enhancements for the admin tool. That's going to be presented by Philip, our product designer. And then we're going to look at something that we know many have been looking forward to, which is an updated quiz builder, which is going to be presented by Mona. And then at the end, we're going to be looking into the future a bit and seeing what we are doing next. And then we wrap up at 9:45. And as I mentioned, we are going to stay around after that if you want to ask questions to the team. But now, without further ado, I hand over the word to you, Matthias, from our POP office in Kungsholmen, Stockholm.
Thank you, Rebecca, and hello to everyone. Glad to see so many of you here today. So I just want to give a brief update on where we're at, and more specifically, as you've probably seen, there's quite a lot of things happening in the tech industry. I think that there's been a bit of a shift where actually there's been some kind of struggling during this kind of shift in the economy. I don't want to talk briefly about that because we as a company, we continue growing. We are in a good place, I would say, where we're having new colleagues enter the company. We've actually just been awarded 2 awards that are maybe most familiar to those of you in Sweden. There's a Gazelle Award, that is a big business newspaper that we've been awarded. Break It, which is a tech publication, also mentioned us as one of the 90 hottest tech scale-ups in Sweden. And I'm not bringing this up to brag to you because you're such a big part of this. But why I'm bringing this up is also connected to today's presentations, because we are very committed to continue investing in our product. We are in a good, sound financial position, so we will continue growing. But most importantly, once again, we will continue investing. We see ourselves as at the start of the journey, rather at the end of the journey in developing our product. So we are excited to continuously go on and build and hopefully do better things together with you. And these are obviously just a few of the people you hear today represented, cannot fit all plus 300 logos in here. But it's really, this is a prize for you, I would say, because as we are awarded these things, it's really you helping us grow into these next stages. So both want to say thank you and also commit to that we're here and we're going to continue investing in the product going forward. So just wanted to start off with that. before diving into the actual contents of today, which is really focused on around what we've done on the product. And when we talk about the product and really our mission with the product, few of this hopefully seen this before, it's really around making training easy, engaging, and efficient. And this both drives our roadmap going forward, that we continuously want to make it 10 times easier, 10 times more engaging, and 10 times more efficient. And as you'll hear today, we talk about a few of the updates. You'll probably hear, for example, around the quiz builder, we're trying to make it easier to build quizzes. When we talk about the catalog admin tool, it's around efficiency, where we had feedback from US customers saying that it's too many steps, it's hard to understand how it works. So we're really trying to improve that, listen to and improve as we go. And we always try to focus at least at one of these three things as we develop new things in the product. And as we develop the product, we work in what we call pulses. So these are 3-month pulses. And we are now just at the end of the fall 22 pulse, obviously here November 16th, presenting what we've been working on in the last 3 months. And obviously what we'll talk about at the end is also what we'll do in the winter 23 pulse, as we'll come to that moving into the next stage. Before I hand over to Mona, I just want to mention also that what we'll be presenting today is a lot of what you'll see in the product in the next weeks or months. But there are also a lot of work happening under the hood, so to speak, continuously upgrading the platform. We did speak a bit about that in our last live session. But there are a lot of upgrades and both visually that is happening, and you'll see that start slipping into the product. But there's also a lot of things happening on the technical side. Why do I mention that? Well, once again, I want to ensure you we're continuing to build a product, make it an even better product, and improve the product. And some of these things are very obvious and shows up in the interface, but some of the things are structural in the sense that you'll notice the benefit in maybe 6 or 12 months. But those are also going on under the hood, so to speak. But they're not very enticing to show in a webinar like this, so you'll have to take my word for it. So yeah. So with that said, I want to hand over to Mona and the product and engineering team to talk a little bit about what we've done in this fall 22 pulse. So over to you, Mona.
Thank you, Matthias. Yes, let's talk about some of the new things that is in our product or is coming into our product within a short time frame. Before we dove into that, for you guys who haven't met me before, I'm Mona Jönsson. I am their product manager with Learnifier, and I am super excited to be able to have these live sessions and interact with you guys and show you all the hard work that our dev team and product development team is focused on delivering. Let's kick it off with some short announcements around what's delivered already in the fall pulse. So there are 2 things I want to just briefly touch on, and one is improvements to our existing certification expiration notification. That is a mouthful, but it is a feature already out in the product. We've just kind of improved it slightly so that admins now have the option to send notifications out to the learner, team manager, and such. Previously, I think there was, you will always send a notification to the learner by default. So that was something that we got feedback around and something that we quickly took in and adjusted so that we now have that functionality of optional notifications around certification expiration. That should be already available for you guys to see and try out and use. The next one will be our new reports on our end. So we've heard around a lot around the needs to see, get some insights into which users are not on a team. So we now have a new report on the client level that's called user teams. And that will show which users are part of a team and what that team is. But most importantly, if a user is not part of a team, it was also clearly state that. So giving some insights around the team affiliation for your participants. Another thing that is also available at this point, but you guys might not all see it, is our next feature. And that is because it is right now only available for a selected customer profile. It applies to everybody that has a single level organization only. I just want to clear that off right the bat. So this feature is the display of admins and active users. So again, a single level organization is only. We are working on multiple orgs to provide that information to everybody. But yeah, we have to roll it out in batches this round. So basically what this is, it's currently there's no way for you as customers to get any insights around the administrators, the number of administrators and active users that you have within your client or single level organization. And I think it's pretty important to have that insight. I think currently the only way for you guys to get this is to reach out to our lovely customer success group, who are always happy to help. But I think there's some value in providing that to you guys and communicating that directly. Yeah, it's conveniently showing it. It's going to be a display in your in the product, showing you some information around the usage data for your plan. And we actually have our super talented back-end developer, Pavel, here, that's going to give you a visual of what that will look in the product. So I'm passing it over to you, Pavel.
Yeah, thank you, Mana, and hello and welcome, everyone. I am glad to be presenting here today for you. I am Pavel. I am a full-stack developer here in Learnifier family since June previous year. And I am glad to present you this new feature we do have for you. So you should be seeing my screen right now. And yes, so basically we have added the feature as a box in your dashboard administrator client administration view. So as you can see here, you have new view as licenses, which tells you exactly how many you have administrators and participants active in your system out of how many maximum amount you have paid for. So this is the basic view. You can always exceed basically your maximum amount, which will give you a small information which also can be lead for your access to the customer support. And the other case is when you reach your maximum amount, not overflow. So you will get this friendly message, which will also give you opportunity to contact the support and try to get your licenses more. And yeah, that's basically it. This is a small feature, but we think this will give you a great value. Thank you. Back to you, Man.
Great. Thank you, Pavel. That was awesome. Yeah, so that is something that is available for all single level orgs now. It is something our customer success will get activated for you. And just again, calling it out that it won't flow out to all customers, just so we are aware of that. Our next feature is a big one, and this is more of a palette wetter. This is kind of showing you where we are on our catalog enhancements in the administrator tool. So this relates to how you manage and organize the catalog. And it's a big effort. As Matthias mentioned, we are kind of redoing a lot of structure under the hood, which will then allow us to do a lot of cool features coming down the road, because we will have the support in our code to hold those interactive and engaging super cool features. So that in itself, I think, is really awesome. But you will also get some really much awaited features, I should say, such as category builders and stuff. So basically, I think the current state of setting up a catalog is a little confusing, is the feedback we received. The project and the catalog settings are all bundled into one page, and you change a thumbnail or a title and it kind of rolls out in a place that you don't know or you don't understand how those interact or what you're actually changing. So that will be a part of this effort to simplify and clarify that. But again, we're also giving all the catalog administrators the ability to build their own categories. And I know this is big. This is something that our awesome customer success group, they've been very busy helping you guys with these things. But that's something they currently are helping you guys with. But we're going to lift that off them and place that ability in your hands so that you can structure and organize your contents however it fits your company's needs. So that's pretty cool. We're also revisiting and improving the way that we are grouping our multiple courses together. So sessions and groupings, how that kind of worked before. We're moving into a newer format that's called course bundles, and you'll get some more insights in that in a minute. And with this kind of separating out and clarifying how you kind of add settings to the project and thumbnails and titles to the project versus what should be and how things should be displayed in the catalog. It's kind of a separating those flows a bit. That comes also with separate permissions. So we're going to put in some permissions for having a selected number of people managing the catalog display towards the learners. So that's a new piece as well. So this work is currently well underway, but this will not be delivered until towards the end of the next pulse, so the winter pulse that's upcoming. The team is doing a massive effort on this, and it is all coming to place. We just wanted to show you a little bit where we are and what you can look forward to getting shortly, as well as notifying you that this will be coming, so that hold on, your categories is coming, we're delivering. With that, I am going to pass it over to our product designer Philip, and he's going to show you a little bit where we are and where we aim to go with this project. Over to you, Philip.
Yeah, thanks. So my name is Philip. I'm a product designer at Learnifier. I've worked here for maybe maybe a little over 1 year. So yeah, I'm getting warm in my clothes now. So let me show you where I'm going to show you the new sort of flow, so to speak. So yeah, this is a lot. Wait, did like that. Yes. So at the moment we have catalog settings under each project, and as Mona mentioned, we heard that we want a more sort of visual flow so you can see like how you interact with certain things under each project for the catalog. So we have now sort of created we're building a new catalog builder where you can sort of set up your category structure, and also you can decide what projects you want to import into the catalog and sort of manage and organize how you want them to be displayed in the catalog. So if I just start with the category section over here. Oh yeah, this is from the admin perspective. So what you're seeing is similar to the learner experience, but you're now interacting as an admin, just to clarify that. So yeah, here you can sort of add a category. You can just name it, just add it. And this is just mock, so I won't actually add it here, but just to show you. And then here you can sort of edit your category structure tree. So you can, I think we will support 4 levels down. So then you can sort of, add like categories. Yeah, I'm naming something. It's like, that's cool. Or maybe like, no, I regret it, delete it by, and sort of, organize it as however it fits your organization. And then you can go into a category and you can see the subcategories relative to that category as well. And so now I'm at the highest level, the catalog level, and then you get the levels over here. And at the highest levels, you can import projects over here. And those are the projects that you create in your client. So here you can sort of search for those projects and then eventually add them into the catalog here. And what you can do then is that you normally add course projects, but then we're also introducing this bundle type of project. And this is sort of like a package where you can sort of add multiple courses into yeah, this bundle. So for example, I can search for a course, a trip to the forest, add it, and now I've got 2 courses in this bundle. Yes, let's see what more. Yeah, and for each project that you've imported into the catalog, you'll have settings related to that, and here you can sort of configure, yeah, like how you want this project to be displayed in the catalog. And the same goes for course over here as well. So you can sort of set a thumbnail, you can edit the title, you can like when do you want it to be active, and what categories do I want to assign this specific project? So you can assign it maybe to multiple categories. And yeah, so we're basically moving all the functionality that we have today into this platform here. And other than that, so let's maybe dive into a landing page as well for this course. So if I go in here, I can see that this course has a banner over here. It has a title. And I got all these different sections over here: instructors, description, events, and participants. And maybe you're like, maybe I don't want to show the instructors, maybe I don't want to show the events. Yeah, maybe you want to hide everything, that's possible. But yeah. And here on the right side, you have the same sort of pop-up where you can configure all the settings around this specific project in the catalog, and some more info about this project. So that's basically what we're currently developing. So that's it for me. Over to you, Mona.
Great walkthrough, Philip. Hopefully that gives you guys an idea of what will be coming your way. I know there is quite a lot going on, and it's a big change from what's in place, but it is a really cool change, I think. And all the feedback we've received so far is that it's really going to add some value to that specific part of the product. Again, we'll do another presentation on this when this is rolled out, so you will be able to see this. Of course, we're going to provide you with supporting materials, explaining the changes and kind of how to get into the new flows, and kind of do that ahead of time so we can prepare to move over to the new catalog flow and not have a abrupt shift from the old to the new. Awesome work. Thanks, Philip, again. The next part that we will go through and show a demo on is our quiz builder refresh. So this is where you build your quizzes and your tests. And currently there is quite a lot going on in the interface for the quiz builder. It is one of the areas in the product that is used a lot. I think a lot of customers build quizzes and or tests. So it has some high traffic, and therefore I think it's great to be able to provide a good update to both the code and to the UI. So if you have been in building a quiz, and I think most of you guys have, you do know that there's a lot going on, as I said, and the flow is a little bit, it's not as intuitive as you would wish. You have to orient yourself and try some things out, and some behavior might not be the most logical. So those are all things that we've addressed in this quiz builder refresh, mainly just focusing on clarity and ease of use, but also making it very visible kind of what you're building and how you're building things in the new improved piece. Definitely, as you're going to see, we've provided the UI with a lift, and having seen Philip's mocks for the catalog, you're going to be able to see a lot of that same theme and behavior kind of in the quiz builder. So you will no longer feel like you're kind of leaving Learnifier and going into a separate quiz building app. You're actually staying within the same product, building out the quiz. So that's also really nice, I think. And again, we're updating our code base here. So we're not adding any new features for this effort, but we are making a good solid ground. We're putting a solid ground in place so that we can put more interactive and engaging functionality around some of the policy settings, for instance, attempts, and how your participants go through the quiz, but also new and exciting question types that will bring a whole new level of engaging or interactive ways to answer and respond to questions, as well as moving it up Bloom's ladder a little bit as far as assessing. So that is basically the scope, is again simplifying the flow and clarifying the UI and tying it to the rest of the product and improving the code. And I'm not going to pass it over to anyone else this time. I will keep the control. So I will show the demo here real quick. We'll take you over to my screen and I hope you can see it. Perfect. So when you then go into the course builder and you select add a quiz and you want to start building your quiz, this will be where you land. And as you can see, the look and feel of it is much different from what's in place currently. The functionality is still there, so you can do all the great things you could when building a quizzes, when you've built out your previous quizzes and tests. It is just a much simpler build experience, I would say. We have a left side panel that kind of gives you a high level overview and lets you kind of build out your pages and navigate those pages very easily, giving you a good eagle-eyed view of what you're actually putting together. We have our tabs in the mid page. So in this instance, I will start a quiz from scratch and build it out. If I have, let's see, I might be lying to you. I thought I had a new quiz in here somewhere. Nope. We have our settings also. So for the case when you just want to edit some of the quiz settings, you like the quiz you built before, but you want to make some tweaks to it, you can very easily access that under the settings tabs on the main page. Here, you can simply go in, add your pages, and I have done a little prep work, but I can continuously go in and delete this for you. So we can start anew. I'll add a new page. We'll go in here and we can add whatever we would like. For the page title, I will then go in, add a section, 1.1, or whichever information I would like to add at that point. Start building out my questions. And this is a little new. We're going to pop the question type right away. So you will be able to select what type of question you have and also the question layout before you even start typing the question, which will be a little simpler flow. And this will also allow us to add on, easily add on a lot more interactive question types like ordering, matching, fill in the blank, all those cool things we want to get to very quickly. So this is the format and the layout that I would like. I click done. And here I will go in and type my question stem. If I want to make this question optional, I will simply select that. If I want to have rationale to passing or failing the question, I can add that here as well. So things that were happening on the right-hand panel before are being brought into the main page. And kind of as you start building your questions and the question content, you will start putting those things into place in one flow, which is kind of nice. I would like to add some media because I think it's always fun. Let's do this. See what pictures we have for dogs. That looks exactly to what I'm looking at. And we are still working on this. I just want to throw that out. We will improve the preview of the media here for us. We have our choices that I can build out very easily. So this is a cat, which it is not. Simple, very basic question level. Horse or a sheep. Dog is the correct answer for this one. And off I go, either adding a new section, adding a new page, or adding a new question. If I want to go back and see what did I put on page 1, what is the content here? As you can see, we have our cat questions here. Wanted to cater to both our cat and dog people alike. So yeah, basically, again, you can have different media options like you did before, video, audio. Removing the media is fairly simple. Changing the question type and the design is done very quickly by hitting the settings cogwheel on the question level. If you have a question format that you like to simply just duplicate, you can do that, and right below it, you will also have that format coming out. If there's something you don't like, I don't want this question, again, just hit the trash can and delete. So filling out the actual question content and the quiz structure here, once you've completed that, most people go over to the settings and put the policy and settings for how to deliver the quiz. And we've moved all those settings into one page and this tab specifically, the settings tab. We have the same ones. We haven't changed any of the settings, so you will have the same ability and we will support all the existing quizzes out there in this way. And then once you have it where you like to deliver it, you can either go through preview or you can save it, and your learners will be able to go in and either do their knowledge test or take their tests, quizzes. So yeah, basically this is the redo. It will be interesting to hear feedback from everybody around this once we have it out for you guys to try out. And I do want to call out, this will be out within the upcoming 3 weeks. There are some minor tweaks that we need to adjust before we release it, but that should come shortly out for you guys to explore and use. So yeah, I think that was basically the quiz builder redo. Excited to get that out and going for everybody. So yeah, we'll definitely communicate when this will be released out for everybody to explore. Now,
great, thank you, Mona, and thank you to the product team. A lot of exciting things that are coming, and as you mentioned, I guess the first one that Pavel showed is already live, and the first few things, catalog builder potentially at the end of the pulse, and the quiz builder in a few weeks. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yes, and obviously we'll communicate so you know when it becomes live in your instance. You can also obviously check in if you have any questions. So that was the focus and the communication around what we've done in the last 3 months. But this also means that another 3 months just start today, right?
Yes.
So we'll take a break day to reset, and then we'll start our next pulse, which is the winter pulse. So I guess I'll hand it back to you again, Mona, to talk a little bit about what's next and what we're planning to do in this winter pulse that is coming up.
Great, thank you, Matthias. I'll pick up the baton and keep going then. Hoping you guys will bear with me with a few more minutes. So yeah, looking forward, we have our winter pulse coming up, and just wanted to highlight some of the things that will be worked on and delivered as part of that pulse. So just as you just saw the quiz builder refresh, we're going to take in the survey builder and provide a similar lift with the same scope for that particular part of the product. That is also a part where I know a lot of customers are in on building enkäter and questionnaires, I should say, if we want to keep with the English language there. So that will be something we want to change, and we want to, again, do the same changes as we did for our quiz builder. Refresh the UI, simplify the flow, clarify the flow, make it tied to the rest of the product. So it kind of gives you that Learnifier feel throughout, and also update the code base. So not adding anything new for the server builder at this point or in this effort again. So yeah, that is coming. Looking forward to that. And then we have our next point, which is then wrapping up and delivering the new catalog, the administrator tool that Philip just demoed. That shall be rolled out for you guys to start building and exploring and organizing with all your heart's content, so that your learners can get to courses and see the courses and find their courses that they need or would like to learn and start taking. So yeah, that is something for the upcoming pulse as well. Our third thing was to implement an updated waitlist function. And this is something where, for instance, if you have a course, just try to break down the waitlist function in general. If you have a course where you have a limited amount of seats in, you might want to have a waitlist attached to that. So once that course fills up, or once it's filled up, you will see how many students or learners or participants are in line to get a seat for that course. There will be some improvements around the communications around when learners or participants are moved off the wait list and into the course. For you as an admin, it will kind of give you the good insights of knowing kind of what courses are popular and which ones you need to kind of add on more courses for, which is always nice to get. So yeah, we're making some big lifts, some big improvements around this specific functionality. Lastly, we are also expanding our partnership list. We have a lot of partnerships that we do integrations with, and we're keep building that list out. So we're currently working on, actively working on all three with Winloss, Sight Vision, and Alexis HR. They're all slightly different integrations and yet kind of similar in a way, I guess, when you talk integrations. Yeah, we wanted to add on and be able to have that integration part with these three companies as well. So I know Sight Vision and Alexis HR are actually well underway, where we are starting to put Winloss in place. So we have already kind of had a head start on these areas, which bodes well for the delivery in the winter pulse, because that might show up a little bit ahead of time. You never know. Not putting pressure on our devs at all with that. But yeah, so these are some things we are looking at within the immediate, like next pulse future, to take in and provide some added value into our Learnifier product. But I think that's it for me as far as
great.
So
thank you, Mona. Thank you, team. Look forward to that. Might be worth mentioning that, as Mona said, a few of these things might come out during the pulse. I also want to remind you that even though we have these pulses, the product is actually updated multiple times a week with bug fixes, performance improvements, and things like that. So it's not that we release all the code at the end of the quarter. It's just that we want to kind of simplify the communication and make it easier for you also to follow when we're doing major updates to the product. We've had the session here today in November 16th. We'll plan for our next session where hopefully you'll join in February. We haven't set the date yet, but we'll get back to you on that within shortly, so you can book that in. And hopefully you can look forward then to some nice new additions to the product that you can start playing around with. So I think I'll hand it back to you, Rebecca, to kind of wrap it up for today.
Thank you, Matthias, and thank you everyone who has been listening today. We hope that you found it interesting and that these functions and news will be useful to you in your work. And we have recorded this, so if you wish to see some parts of it again or share the recording with others, you can do so. And you can also, of course, reach out to us, and we are happy to help and explain further these news.